What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Prop Queen Pod. I'm Ariel Epstein, known as the Prop Queen. Today sucks. Just really sucks. So if you're not tuning in, I don't blame you because today sucks. Yesterday sucked. Today sucked. Actually, yesterday didn't suck that bad. Just Nick Lodolo ruined my entire day. Everything else was great. Fishy line hit. A few other strikeout props hit. Patrick Corbin got lit up, per usual. Gave up 3 runs, went over his 2.5 earned runs allowed, went over his 4.5 hits allowed with 5. Nick Lodolo sucked. I mean, the fact, again, he was great as a pitcher. Like, obviously, it was 1-0 the score. But the fact that he had 4 strikeouts, I just can't believe it, that he went under. If you would have told me yesterday that Nick Lodolo wasn't going to hit, but the Sacramento Athletics were going to hit as a fishy line, I would have said you're nuts. Obviously, the odds thought you were nuts too, because the odds had the Athletics as a dog. And Lodolo was minus 140 to go over 5.5 Ks or 4.5 Ks. Whatever. That one annoyed me. I woke up to an angry text from my friend Joe as well that he was pissed off about that. So that's how my morning was, that I woke up angry. And then I rode the Peloton. I said, okay, you know what? Today's going to be a much better day. Don't worry about Lodolo. Don't let him ruin your day. You had a better day overall anyway. All good. Move on. Then I bet on Shota Imanaga in day baseball. This is why I tell mid-major Matt all the time, I hate day baseball. Betting day baseball also sucks. I love it as a fan. Actually, I don't, because the Yankees suck. But that's besides the point. Today's theme is just bad. Everything's glass half empty today. It is just an absolute disgusting day. Shota Imanaga goes under his 5.5 strikeout prop, which should not have happened. He's up against a Rangers team that strikes out a lot against lefties. Imanaga looked terrible. It wasn't even like he was getting soft contact outs, grounders, whatever. No. It was hard contact the entire game. Since the first batter, Imanaga looked absolutely atrocious. So he lost. Now I'm looking at the Athletics, who are down 2-1 to the Padres in the top of the 6th inning. Now I have to hope that the Athletics make a comeback. Another thing that annoyed me today was Tyler Mahle. Tyler Mahle's strikeout prop was super fishy. I said it in the newsletter today that it was absolutely a fishy line. Oh, and I always forget to do this to let Instagram in. So welcome, Instagram. The fishy line, now I lost my train of thought. Okay, anyway, the Oakland Athletics or Sacramento Athletics are my fishy line for today. The Yankees, by the way, this afternoon. Oh, I know. I was saying Tyler Mahle. Tyler Mahle, he was a fishy line, a strikeout prop. So Tyler Mahle's line was very weird because it was 4.5 with minus 150 to the over. It didn't make any sense because the Cubs, only one starter has gone over their strikeout prop against the Cubs to start the year so far of the righties. Mahle doesn't strike out that many batters. So I was super concerned for why this number was so bad. He ended up almost going over in his final inning, but then Mahle ended up going under his 4.5 Ks with 4 and 7 innings pitched. So I guess that they kind of knew that Mahle was going to go deep in this game and thought if he went 7 innings that he would go over, and it was close. He almost did. Hi, Daniel. Hi, Wrigley Boise. Pissed off Epstein's good for business. Yeah, no, I'm pissed off. Kramer and Fott, I also gave out on the newsletter today. So they're 2-0 D-backs right now in the 5th inning. Kramer is at 4. His strikeout prop was 4.5. I like the under. He's at 76 pitches. Brendan Fott, under 5.5 Ks. He's at 3 through 5 innings right now. 75 pitches. Fott looks like it's more likely to hit. I just can't. Today sucks. Like this whole day. The Yankees, I'm all excited that the freaking Yankees are playing at 1 o'clock, right? 1 o'clock Eastern time. I get the Yankees on. Lunchtime. Today's going to be a good day. I get afternoon baseball to entertain me while I do work. Easy game. 4-0 into the 9th. Easy peasy. Yankees going to win. No problems. Devin Williams comes in. Now, I had a ton of people say to me when the Yankees got Devin Williams, good luck. Brewers fans, good luck. So good luck. What do you mean good luck? We were losing Clay Holmes. Thank God. we have Clay Holmes. 4-3 is the final score, by the way. They had to take Devin Williams out. He couldn't finish the game. Up 4. You are a veteran closer. You were signed to this team to be their true closer. I was on opening day. Devin Williams couldn't close that game out either. Barely. Thank God the Yankees won. Oh, Josh Naylor just homered to right. 5-0 Arizona. So maybe Kramer comes out early. Did I bet it? No. Did I give it out in the newsletter? Yup. Gave out Kramer under in the newsletter. What did I bet? Shota Imanaga over 5.5 Ks. I was so convinced that this guy, it's taking everything in me to not curse on this show today. Shota Imanaga was averaging like 6 to 8 strikeouts a game in day games at home against high K rate teams dating back to last year. He looked horrible. Jessica Brand. 2024 Luke Weaver had more earned runs than strikeouts through his first 4 outings. Great. Luke Weaver is a young dude. Luke Weaver just made a name for himself last year. Devin Williams made a name for himself years ago. Devin Williams came over to this team to be a veteran and to shut things down. Devin Williams did not come over to do this. Now, I know it's a long season. I'd rather you peak at the right time, which is not now. That's what I'm going to talk about today with one of our guests, Russell Dorsey, my very good friend from MLB Network. He's also Yahoo's MLB national writer. Andy Lang from WagerTalk going to join us in a couple of minutes. He's got a lot of props. Oh, he's logged in. I'll let him in a couple of minutes. He's got so much going on, Andy Lang. First of all, I used to do Prop Shop with him at WagerTalk. You might have seen it on Bet On It on Wednesday afternoons during football season a couple of years ago. Andy's still doing it, of course. It's all over WagerTalk platforms. I text him a lot asking him about NASCAR. It's the one sport he didn't mention today. He does have Formula One, which we have not mentioned yet on this show. So Formula One is going to be one of the prop plays that he has. We've got Masters talk to talk about, NBA action, hockey action. Oh, Jessica knows Andy Lang, Mr. Bump Sports. Yeah, I'm super excited because there's not many people that focus on just props like Andy and I do. And Andy does a lot of other things, but he focuses in on the props just like me. He's getting Angry Ariel. I know Russ is going to be excited about Angry Ariel because Russ loves to make me angry, and he'll be at 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. No, I'm really pissed off today. Sorry, is that like a bad word to say? I don't even know if you're allowed to say like pissed off on air. I guess you could say anything on social media. It's 2-1 Padres. The Athletics are my fishy line of the day, by the way. They're at bat, so bottom of the 6th, 1 out. We'll see if a miracle can happen and something could brighten my day. Yesterday was great. Yesterday, I got my money from Splash Sports. I cashed the contest for Survivor, $1 million, split $13K with my friend Chris Thurston. It was a blast yesterday. All my props won except my best bet. But if you follow the newsletter, who cares? Because we won. Right? Winning day for everybody except me because I decided to put more money on Nick Lodolo to go over his Ks. Shota Imanaga, Nick Lodolo, dead to me. Dead. Lodolo's definitely dead. Imanaga, I'll give him a little bit. Lodolo, dead. 2 in a row. Losers, out of here. Now I'm going to bring someone who's going to make me happier because Andy Lang's going to give us some winners. I'm not going to give out that. I'm going to tell you a lot of info today. I'm really pissed off. So, Andy, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
Listen, I got to say this. I get asked to come on a lot of shows, and I don't do a lot of them. Why? Because I only deal with winners. That's a God's honest truth. Ariel, I am serious. I do not do shows with people that lose money, and you are a killer. You outwork everybody in the industry. I know this because the first time that you and I met, we started doing props together and I watched it in full action. Ariel, you are smart. You are sharp. You make people money. That's why I'm doing the show. And everybody that has asked me to come on their show and I have said no.
You are losers.
This is why, because I only deal with winners. And Ariel, you do not need me to tell you about some MLB winners. So we're going to focus on some other sports. But you're doing it. You're doing it. Like, I'm so happy for you. You're doing it. Ariel's doing it.
Thank
She's doing the
you.
thing. She's doing her own thing.
That's what I say at the blackjack table. Me and Brett, Kelly's boyfriend, you're doing that thing. You're doing that thing when they bust. But no, I'm really happy. You know, Andy, that this has been something I've wanted to do for so long. The timing was just right to find the main place people could go for prop betting, a place that people know they're going to tune in and get prop information. It's a market that, listen, we say gambling and sports betting is in the 4th inning in America. Prop betting's in like the 2nd inning. It's going to blow up, though.
Absolutely. Like, we're 46-20 in NBA plays, and they're all props. You
That's
can't
amazing.
do that with spreads and money lines. You just can't. There's nobody that's offering that kind of winning percentage. Like the things that you do where you're talking about the outs and you're talking about the strikeouts, and you cannot get that kind of winning percentage in those markets. And that is what you and I have in common, and we believe in the same things. We believe in working hard. We believe in outworking the books. We believe in outworking the competition, and that's why you've done so well, and that's why clients of both of us have seen their bankrolls grow through through the roof. It's amazing. Congratulations, Ariel.
Thank you. Everyone should definitely check out Andy's stuff over at WagerTalk, and we'll get to more of what you do over there in a second. But I do want to give some props out. So let's start with, we haven't spoken much about Formula One on this show. And Formula One, hold on, I'm like learning how to still use this thing. Formula One, I don't know anything about, to be honest. I know it's a sharp market.
You don't need to.
Why?
This is the beautiful thing about some of these props. You don't need to watch these sports. We'll watch them for you. We'll do the research. Ariel, you watch these pitchers and these batters. The people that follow you, they don't need to watch every at bat from the Yankees or the Orioles. You do that stuff for them. This is the beautiful thing about the service you offer. Yes, absolutely. I'll start talking about Formula One. McLaren double podium. They are the best team in Formula One right now. And here's the key, Ariel. Next year, all the cars are different. They are changed. They have new regulations. So what's happening this year is all of the teams are putting their money and their resources into next year. They don't care about this year. McLaren has the best cars in the field. They are going to finish top 3 in every single race this year. This is a gift that they are going to win the championship. So take McLaren, double top podium. We're looking at Mercedes and Ferrari, double top 10. Why? They're just going to end up there because none of the other teams can keep up with them. These are parlay pieces that you can put with anything. This is the beautiful thing about props is you can parlay these. You can play them on their own. You can do whatever you want with them, but these are going to cash week after week after week. And what do we always say, Ariel? I'm not looking for a 1-0 week. I'm looking for 6-2. I'm looking for 9-3 on some of these props. Of the next 12 races, are Mercedes going to finish in the double top 10 times? Yeah, probably. Ferrari, are they going to finish in the double top 10? Yeah, probably. They're going to finish 10 out of the last 12 races. McLaren, double podium. Are they going to finish top 3 this week? Most likely. I don't care about this week. I care about the next 10 races. They're going to go 8-2. They're going to go 9-1 in these. These are how you make money in the props market. This is money that the books are not looking at. They are paying attention to the big sports. It's NBA playoffs. It's NHL playoffs. MLB is getting going. They're not paying attention to Formula One. This is how we build bankrolls. This is how we build wealth. And Ariel, we say it, we build wealth by 1 million paper cuts. Tick, 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 tick.
This is why you're great, though, Andy. You find these sports, you find these markets that are untapped. The market doesn't adjust quickly. You've done this before. You've even introduced me to some parlays where you have these 2-leg prop parlays that are a little overly juiced, but they hit so much that the juice doesn't matter. The book never catches on.
NBA right now, we have hit 15 in a row. Money line parlay. People are like, oh, you can't lay minus 2,000. Yes, we can. We're getting winning teams in the NBA against teams that are tanking. You can fade the Philadelphia 76ers. You can fade the Charlotte Hornets. You can fade the San Antonio Spurs. You can fade these these teams that openly want to lose. This is money that is out there on the table for all of you to to make. It's out there. Like, it just, you can bring it in. You can bring it in. There's so much money to be made in the props market, and I just love that you have embraced it. And I wish we could get more and more people. But honestly, the more and more people that we get, the books are going to move.
The more and more it's going to move, like my strikeout props,
Yes.
which pissed me off.
Exactly.
Like the strikeout prop market 5 years ago was insane. That's where the Prop Queen name came from. You know that. Dave Koken was DMing me. And for people that don't know, rest in peace, Dave Koken worked at WagerTalk with Andy. He was a huge baseball bettor. He was the one that said, that's it, Prop Queen, you got it, strikeout props. And don't get me wrong, it still does well, but it's definitely a more popular market now relative to other ones that people haven't tapped into.
Absolutely. There are, with the legalization of all these books, and now even Bet365 is available in 12 states, which that's a European book, but now it's available in 12 US states. The amount of props that are out there and that are available to the public, the books cannot be dialed in on all of these lines. There are soft lines.
What are your thoughts on these live props that are starting to pop up during regulation?
So I have made the switch, Ariel. I am betting more on live lines than I ever have been. And this has been in the last 3 months. UFC, you can absolutely crush. And we do a live show about UFC. We watch all the UFC fights. So what is there, like 12, 13 fights on a card? I only need one great line in UFC to make a profit. You can bank 2 or 3 units in UFC just with one soft live line that they've given out. And it's happened twice in the last 2 weeks in the main event. You've gotten the winner at -130 last week. You got 2 weeks ago, Brandon Moreno. You got him at plus money, even though he was nuking the guy that he was fighting. You got him at plus money. So live lines, I've been skeptical, but now I'm completely on board with it. The live lines in some of these sports, the books cannot keep up with. And the best thing about it is, that I don't want to go into a deep dive, like completely nerd out thing, but in Massachusetts, they did a thing where the regulators interviewed the owners of the sports books and the regulators, and they said, how do you limit people? Why are you limiting people? They openly said, we cannot figure out how to limit people on parlays and on live lines. If you are a parlay bettor like I am, and you live bet, they cannot figure out how to limit you. If you beat lines on these domestic books, they will limit you. But if you crush live lines and parlays, they do not have the algorithm figured out. That is the big advantage that we have as bettors.
I was interviewing the CPO of DraftKings last month. We talked about the live lines. That's the new market that they're really trying to dive into at DraftKings. They have the pick 6 now, which is similar to like an underdog prize picks. They really want to attack the live market. I said, since it's run by essentially like a machine, a computer, those live lines, don't you feel that you're at a disadvantage to the bettor? He said he feels on their end that they have the advantage because it's so quick that their system should know it better than us. I said, challenge accepted.
Challenge accepted. I'll take that bet. I'll take that bet. I'll take that bet with people like you. But Ariel, we have to remember that the average Joe, no offense to the audience, they're not going to beat those lines. Someone like you, someone like me, someone like our team, we're going to crush those lines. It's advantage us. It's why you tune in to Ariel's show. It's why
we have all day. We have all day to look at this stuff. And that's why we're going to go look at some of these plays from Andy. Wait, again, this system is so annoying. Andy's plays for tonight. So you're taking advantage of IQ over 9.5 rebounds plus assists. Why is there an edge there with his rebounds plus assists prop? It's my favorite market in the NBA, by the way.
Yeah, 46 and 20 in our last 66 plays. NBA has been incredible. Emmanuel, quickly, this is one of these teams that should be tanking. It's the Raptors. But their players are playing so hard. These guys are playing for contracts. These guys are playing for playing minutes. So I love these tanking teams with players that are playing with motivation. Emmanuel, quickly, he's gone over in 9 straight games. And when I look at the rebounds and assist market, Ariel, what I'm looking for, so 9.5 rebounds, assists. He needs to get to 10. Okay. I look at his potential assists and his rebound chances, and I need that to be twice as much as the line has suggested. He's at 21 potential assists and rebound chances. That checks all the boxes. Emmanuel Quickly. And by the way, who's he play tonight? The Charlotte Hornets, who have given up on the season.
One's playing, by the way.
Nobody's
Williams
playing.
is out. They're all out.
Yes. So what do the Charlotte Hornets give up? They give up 15 rebound plus assists to point guards. So yeah, Emmanuel Quickly. And what I love about Quickly is they kind of been resting him. He's not playing back-to-backs. He's not playing multiple games in a row. So when they play him, he plays 30 plus minutes. We want minutes. We want chances. We want rebound chances. So we're going to take that one. NHL, Rasmus Anderson. Again, checks all the boxes, Ariel, for a play that the books are not paying attention to. He's gone over this in 9 straight games. 9. Again,
why doesn't the book know this?
I don't care about 1-0. I care about 5-1. I care about 6-2. And Rasmus Anderson, he's at this 1.5 shots on. He's averaging 5.7 shots attempt. 2.7 shots on goal the last 10 games. We only need him to get to 2. And who does he play tonight? The worst team in the league at shots on goal allowed. The Anaheim Ducks, 32 shots on goal allowed. We only need this guy to get to 2. Yes, we've cashed this guy 4 straight games in a row. We're doing it again. And we're going to Sepp Straka over Dustin Johnson in the golf. This is the Masters. It is the biggest week in 2025 so far of betting. And golf, Ariel, I have never had a losing season at golf.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
Never. It's never happened. If you have invested in my golf plays, you have never had a losing season. And we get Dustin Johnson, who's coming off the Live Tour, he is a former winner of the Masters, and yet he sucks. He openly said, I do not practice as much as I used to. His body, he's putting on weight. It doesn't look that great. He has 1 finish inside the top 20 on the Live Tour, and now he's playing at the Masters at the Augusta. No way. Sepp Straka is 1.5 shots per round better total strokes gained this year, and Sepp Straka is on the PGA Tour. He has finished ahead of Dustin Johnson every single year the last 3 years. Give me Sepp Straka over Dustin Johnson. We're fading these Live guys. These are off the beaten path. These are these prop markets that everybody is missing.
Why are you fading the Live guys for the Masters?
Because they are not battle tested. They play on cupcake courses. They are playing on these joke courses. Last week they played in Miami, Ariel. It was a little bit drizzly. It was a little bit rainy. It was a little bit windy. And the course is really long. And what happened? These Live guys melted. They had a little adversity and they quit. John Rahm shot a 73 in the first round. Joaquin Neiman couldn't even finish against Anthony Kim, who's he's like a homeless guy. He is like. These Live guys are playing on the Live Tour, and these courses suck. They suck. They're going to play at Augusta, one of the hardest courses ever, and they're going to go play. It's PGA Tour battle-tested people. They're going to get smoked. They're just going to get smoked, and this is how we make money, and this is how we build bankrolls, Ariel.
Is the match bets your favorite way to bet the Masters?
Yeah, so I'm looking at John Rahm. I'm going to take him over his first round score. He's been terrible in the first round. He shot 73 last week. John Rahm, every single tournament this year except for Singapore, his first round score has been the worst score of his round. The worst of his entire tournament. He's only done it one time where the first round hasn't been his worst. So we're going to fade them in the first round. We're going to fade these Live guys. I'm
assuming then you've got some Live guys to miss the cut.
You can't do miss the cut because the cut props are really, really tough at the Masters. There's only like 76 guys playing, and they let the top 50 guys in. And you got to remember, former players are allowed to play in here. So you have guys that are in their 60s, in their 70s. You get amateurs that are playing. The top English amateur is playing. But where can we make money? You can throw Scotty Scheffler to make the cut in your parlays. You can throw Colin Morikawa in your parlays to make the cut. You can throw Sepp Straka to make the cut. You can throw Minwoo Lee to make the cut, because these cut rules are really, really easy. These are gifts for parlay pieces that you can throw into your parlay. So this is what we're doing this week for the Masters. We're looking at fading the live guys, and we're looking at these PGA Tour guys to make the cut.
I have a ton of friends that love betting parlays. I yell at them. I actually made a sweatshirt for my friend's husband, Rafi, and he wears it on the reg because it literally says on the last leg of my parlay. This guy is always like 9 out of 10 legs. And I know like 10 legs is insane, but this is true. Rafi always bets parlays, and I always get mad at him because he's always mad. You are the person that bets parlays the smartest and wins at them. What is your strategy for parlays?
We say this all the time, Ariel. It is not that you parlay. It is what you parlay. It is so key to know what you are putting in your legs. We do not do these 10-leg parlays, these 15-leg parlays. What we're looking for is a big key and the big anchor piece, and then we want to lower the juice. And I'll give you an example of that. The McLaren top 3 double podium for Formula One. They are going to be the 2 fastest cars on the track at Bahrain. That's minus 225. We don't want to pay minus 225. So what do? We'll take Scotty Scheffler to make the cut. He's won the Masters 2 out of the last 3 years. He finished top 10 in all those. So we're going to put that with him. Colin Morikawa, he's finished top 10 last couple of years. We're going to parlay that with the McLaren double top podium. And what do we get? Minus 118. That's how you build a parlay. It is not trying to get a 100 to 1 or a 10 to 1. We call it wealth by a million paper cuts. You're trying to put some of the best pieces that you have together, and you're just trying to get to even money. That's the key. People try and get the huge swing, the home run, the grand salami. No, that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to take a really confident piece that we have that's minus like 220, 250, minus 300. We do this in MMA all the time. We want to get it closer to even money. That's how you make money off of parlays. We're up 85 units the last 365 days in parlays.
That's crazy. And Jessica Brand had a question. She said, what do you think about the correlation in parlays?
Correlation. I would say the big thing is one of the mistakes people make is they put the same leg in multiple parlays. That's a no. Like, so, okay, McLaren double podium. You don't put that in 14 parlays. You put it in 1. You try and scrape 2 units. And Ariel, you've been doing this a long time. Do you know how valuable 2 units is to your bankroll? Like, I don't think people understand how valuable 1% is. 2% is. We go over the math all the time. If I make 3% on my bankroll every week, I start with $1,000, and in 4 years I will have 1 million. That's if I make 3% per week. So these 1%, these 0.5%, these 3%, these 2%, they're gold. Why? Because it adds up. It adds up. It adds up. So you just keep scraping away these 1%, these 2%. It's not sexy. I get it. It's not the 100 to 1.
It's sexy when you win. Ariel,
I love money, and I love making money. And it is very, very sexy at the end of the week when you've got that 3%, 4%, 5% wins on parlays.
Yeah, just definitely to this demographic today is a good thing for people to know, especially with these pick sixes, these underdogs, prize picks that are coming out. It's the way to do it as opposed to, I guess, just like throwing 10 leggers together. NBA is towards the end of the season, NHL towards the end of the season. How do you pivot when it comes to playoff time?
It sucks. It sucks.
That's the theme of the show today. The theme of the show today is it sucks. It sucks.
We've been making a mint off of fading these terrible teams that are tanking. And someone's like, you can't lay minus 2,000 on the Pacers versus the Wizards. Yes, I can. I did. And guess what? We parlayed it with 4 other teams that we know we're going to lose last night for a minus 120. And guess what? 2 units right in our bankroll. So playoffs, I lower the units, Ariel. I go from like maybe 2 units down to 1 unit with these streaks, and you do the same thing. This is why I love you. We're going to hammer somebody. We're going to hammer a prop. We're not looking for 1-0. We're looking for 5-1. We're looking for 6-2. So in the playoffs, you get these series, and you just want to kind of, yeah, it sucks. I wish we could have these terrible teams all the time.
I just wish that in basketball it would be like one game, like the Super Bowl, like the NFL playoffs. Just give me one game. In baseball, I don't care because we're used to watching them in a series. It does get worse. It does suck because pitchers don't stay in as long, etc. In the NBA, and I don't bet hockey like you do. In the NBA, though, when I have to worry now about a best of 7, I just want to die. And Ski Profit says to me all the time, you've got to look at quotes. So now I just tell Ski, you know what? You're going to handicap the props for me today. I'm done. I'm not reading the quotes from the head coach.
Yes. We're looking in the series. One of the things that I do, I will tell you right now, the Oklahoma City Thunder, a parlay piece will be them minus 1.5 games in their first first round. It's a log jam in the West. I'm going to take the Celtics minus 1.5 games. These teams are not going to F around in the first round. They do not want wear and tear on their players. They're going to boat race these bad teams. So I will parlay those together. As far as player props, lower the units. And again, if let's say the Thunder have, let's say the Thunder sweep. All right, 4-0. I'm hoping to go 3-1 on a player prop, but I'm going to stick with the same player prop. I'm not going to pick one guy in game 1 and then another guy in game 2 and then another guy in game 3. I'm going to focus on the same one. I think that his matchup works really, really well against the other team.
So that you could benefit out of the majority of games. That's a smart approach.
Absolutely. That's the way to do it. You can't jump around with a spread and a money line and, I'll take this guy. Well, maybe something. Just, it's okay if you're not batting 1,000 on these player props.
It's okay to not be okay.
Let's go 4-1 on the player props. Let's go 3-2. Even 3-2 is profitable, Ariel. Again, we talk about it. Give me a half unit at the end of the week. Here's a stat that'll blow your mind, Ariel. If you made 0.5% every third day, 0.5%, that sounds like nothing, right? 0.5%. At the end of the year, you'll be up 60 units. 60.
That's good.
All you have to do is win a little itty bitty half a unit. And at the end of the year, you'll be at 60% on your bankroll. Would that sound good with what's going on with the stock market right now? Because I would think 60% is really good. All you have to do is win half a unit.
I said, and I've got to let you go so I can get Russ on, but I said to my friends earlier, I would rather throw $250 on the Athletics to win a game on the money line than I would in putting that money in the stock market. I am betting the dogs in baseball, and the Athletics suck. Today sucks. It is the bottom of the 8th inning, and the Padres are up 2-1 still. The Athletics can't score a freaking run. Andy Lang, let everybody know what you're up to at WagerTalk, where they can find you, and the services you provide.
Yeah, I'm at WagerTalk. We're up 90 units, 2023, 127 units last year, and we're up 69 units this year. But honestly, the promotion is you, Ariel. Oh. You've done your thing. You have planted your flag in the industry as a winner. And I am here for all of it. I am an Ariel Epstein fan. If you ever need anything, all you have to do is let me know. Ariel is one of the real ones. I do not do shows with people that lose. I am on here with Ariel because
winners only. Winners only.
Bring it in, Ariel. Hug.
Thank you. The chat loved you, by the way. Thank you, Andy. You're awesome. You brought the fire. You made my day because my day has been pretty crappy. So thank you for making me smile today. Appreciate you.
Love you always.
Love you, Andy, and good luck tonight. Okay, coming on now. Nope, Andy's still gone. I hate this StreamYard thing. Russ is laughing. See, Russ gets... Andy enjoys making me happy. Russ likes to make me happy by making me angry. And that's why I'm going to bring him on right now. Russell Dorsey, I'm trying to figure out... See, I can't figure out this stupid thing.
There we go.
No, this thing's really annoying. It doesn't like the graphics. StreamYard wants you to look terrible. I am trying to fight the system by making StreamYard look great. Russ Dorsey, Yahoo, MLB national writer, MLB Network. He's all over Major League Baseball. Thanks for coming on.
Hi, Ariel. What's going on?
Hey, I was getting nervous. You came in at like 5:32, so I was like, did he forget this is Eastern time?
No, figuring things out. Also, I wanted to make sure I had my prop queen prop right here next to me. Usually it's just my
merch.
glove on the table, but if I'm coming on your show, I might as well have my prop queen merch.
My mom made these water bottles for my 30th birthday that Russ was so sweet to come to all the way from Chicago. We rode a party bus to a farm. It was
great.
pretty epic. It was
It was
pretty
great.
epic. You know what else is epic? When Russ Dorsey decides to come to New York. Wait, oh no, hold on. See, now this is what I want to do. Russ Dorsey comes to New York and he does the subway.
Oh my gosh.
This is my favorite picture of Russ. The best one. Russ did not like the subway.
We could have been there so much faster had we taken the Uber. But no, you guys wanted to ride the train, so we rode the train.
We've got to take the choo-choo. You're in New York.
It's
obviously. Fine. And here's the thing. Misery loves company, and we love misery. Today sucks. That's the theme of the show today. Today sucks. I am not happy. If the Athletics don't come back in the 9th inning or the bottom of the 8th right now, I'm going to be really unhappy. And it was perfect timing because Russ and I love to duel it out. Aside for the subway, my favorite story of me and you at a Major League Baseball park, the Guardians are in town facing the Yankees. We're in the dugout. Russ is nice, and he introduces me to these Guardians, play-by-play, media, etc., all the people. They all come up to me. They love Russ, and they're roasting me for saying they're not going to win the World Series this year.
Yeah. That's a great moment.
How Russ and I get introduced to people. Well, that said, the Guardians last year were a team that I was high on to at least make the playoffs. There are people that are sweating out teams off to a bad start. The Reds, the Braves. Who would you tell people, especially people that might have, some futures action on, who would you tell people, hey, relax, it's going to be okay, they'll turn it around?
I think the interesting part is you look at the Atlanta Braves and you see a team that a lot of people are high on, right? And you look at the talent, you get it. Matt Olson, you have Ronald Acuna Jr., former MVP, coming back here in the next couple of weeks or so. Spencer Strider coming back in the next couple of weeks or so. Austin Riley, Marcell Ozuna. It goes on and on and on. And you look at that lineup and you're like, man, these guys are really good. But they got off to a horrific start. And I think when I look at the Atlanta Braves, you might not lose your season in April, but I think when you're in a division as tough as the NL East and you have the Mets that are improved, you have the Phillies that are always there, you're going to have to look around and say, all right, do we want to be in September and be a game and a half out with 2 games to go and then we don't control our own destiny? So I still think the Atlanta Braves are a good baseball team. They'll have a lot to say before this year is over. But I am slightly concerned because last year we saw them have dips, especially offensively. If they're on, cool. But we saw last year, even with all their guys healthy and playing before Ronald Acuna Jr. tore his ACL, there were still moments for a majority of the season where they didn't hit. Hitting is going to have to be the thing that they ride on. I think Chris Sale is going to be great. Obviously, when we get Spencer Strider back, they're going to be fine there too. But I think when you have to rely so much on that starting pitching, you have an older Chris Sale, right? You have Spencer Strider coming off of elbow surgery. So you're not going to be able to ride these guys like you have in years past. So it's going to be up to that offense to ensure that they can get back in the race in the NL East.
That's where I'm concerned about Sale. Any pitcher that comes off a Cy Young year, usually you see a little bit of a dip. Sale's not known for staying healthy either. Granted, there were some fluky injuries like the broken thumb, but you can't rely on him, and you don't know what Strider is going to look like coming back. You don't know what Acuna is going to look like coming back. I just felt there were a ton of question marks to this Braves team.
You're not wrong. And I think the thing with Chris Sale is I didn't think he would stay healthy last season, and he did. And he was great his first season in Atlanta, winning his first Cy Young Award. And he's been in the top 5, I think, 6 different times. So it was about time that he won it. But Chris Sale's older, right? He's going to be getting towards that back end of his career here soon. You don't know with guys who are at that age how long you could do it. And for a guy who has had a history of injuries, even though he was able to stay healthy for the majority of last year, you just never know, right? You have young guys that don't have lots of miles on their arms that are getting hurt. So a guy like Chris Sale that's pitched for a long time, there's a lot of strikeouts there. You never know.
Question marks surrounding the Braves. Who's a team that you're actually kind of high on that others might be kind of low on?
Now, you talked about them coming into the show. I've been a Sacramento A's guy going back to spring training. I think their question is going to be starting pitching. Like, can they pitch well enough to, put themselves in a position for
especially in this park right now with the ball flying.
And we didn't know exactly how that park was going to play. Now you're seeing, 11, 12 runs a night there at Sutter Health Park out in West Sacramento. But I think they can bang, and I think they can swing the bat. You have Brent Rooker, you have Lawrence Butler, Jacob Wilson, who I picked to win AL Rookie of the Year, is a stud at short. JJ Bleday, Shane Langolier. So I think the A's are going to finish in the top 10 in baseball in home runs. They could finish in the top 5, depending on how things go for them. But I really like them, and I think in a AL West that isn't as strong at the top, with the Houston Astros kind of reshaping what they're doing down there. I still like the Rangers in that division. I think they're probably the class of it. But, the Mariners, what are they, right? What are the
You won't
LA
know
Angels
until the last 2 weeks of the season.
Exactly.
When they
Because
decide to cut it closed.
We got to turn it on. And so I think in a division like that, it's the perfect time for the A's to kind of make their mark. And you saw it second half of last year, what they could be.
Yeah, the A's are fun to watch. I'm hoping that they could pull this one through. They're down 2-1 in the top of the 9th. I'm going to be really upset if they lose, but I'll forgive them, I guess. Your guy, Devin Williams, by the way, I know that, Devin, he's been struggling to start the season too. What's going on?
It's early, right? He's only pitched a couple times.
Yankees fans don't like early.
Well, yeah, that's y'all problem. Y'all were yelling at Aaron Judge, and the guy went
I did not boo Aaron Judge.
An MVP season. So you guys got to simmer down. There's been all of 11, 12 games in this season. He's pitched 3 times in the last 2 weeks, came off the paternity list, first time back. It's cold. Like, he's been pitching in Detroit, cold Yankee Stadium. Devin, since he became a closer, has been one of the elite closers in all of Major League Baseball. It's fine, Yankees fans. You gotta relax.
Okay.
Take a deep
Aaron
breath.
Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers says
RELAX.
Relax.
Deep breath in, slow breath out.
As my group chat is roasting me about XRP. Okay. I need to really mute my phone during shows because people are really, really getting me angry today. Deep breath. Relax.
That's usually my job.
I know. We don't work together really anymore. Off base is not a thing anymore for us.
Sad.
We would have had a lot more fights. I know. Rest in peace. The Guardians, another team that we fought over. Paul Skeens, Jackson Merrill, we fought over.
Mm-hmm.
They were classic fights. But Paul Skeens, how is he looking for you in his sophomore year?
I think it's very early. I'm big on sample size. And that's why, look, you have fans that go off about things. They watch a game today and they're pissed off, right? You're a Yankees fan.
Everyone's loving betting the overs on Paul Skeens strikeout props every game.
But you guys had a handful of starts. And I picked Paul Skeens actually to win the NL Cy Young Award this year. I know you're probably shocked by that. I know. I think he's a stud. I think he is very good. My concern with a guy like a Paul Skeens that plays on a bad team is you never know how losing affects a guy. It might not even be intentionally all the time. A lot of time it's subconsciously, like, you're around losing, and can you always come out there and be your best self every 5th day when in the back of your mind, I got to go 7 scoreless innings. I got to go 8 scoreless innings. I got to punch out 12 today for us to even have a chance to win. And I'll probably end up getting a no decision anyway. I know Paul Skeens isn't thinking like that, but knowing enough pitchers that have been on teams that don't score runs, those are some of the things subconsciously that you might not be thinking about, but losing does wear on you. And when you're in an organization that isn't going to go out and sign the big time free agents or get guys at the deadline, you do know, you looking around the 26 guys on that roster, this is what we have. And I'm the best player on this team. So all that's on his shoulders.
A pitcher who I've really loved to watch mature in the league is Hunter Green. The Cincinnati Reds, fun young team. Now they've got Terry Francona as their manager. Russ, what have you noticed about the Reds with their new manager?
I think with Terry Francona, you bring Tito in, it's not about, we want to be around 500. No, you bring a Hall of Fame manager in because you want to win and you want to show your fan base and your organization that we're here to win in a division that's winnable. And I think with the way the Chicago Cubs have started, you go add Kyle Tucker, you add some of the pieces that they've added in a year where they also need to get to the postseason. They're probably the most talented team on paper. But I still look at the Reds and the ceiling that they have with some of the players that they got back. Matt McClain, who I love at second base, obviously went on the IL, but he's going to be one of the best players on that team. You bring in Gavin Lux, you bring in Brady Singer and trade Jonathan India. They've put pieces in place to say, we're trying to win ball games. And who knows, maybe 87, 88, 89 wins the NL Central, because I think the Brewers are going to take a little bit of a step back this year. I expect the Cubs to take a step forward this year with some of the talent they have. Adding Kyle Tucker is a huge move for them. But if they're able to stay healthy, obviously Matt McClain going down this early isn't helpful. But if you're going to get this version of Hunter Green at the front of your rotation, and we've been talking about Hunter Green since he was 17 years old, throwing 102 miles an hour out of California, now he's starting to look like the ace that they invested in, that they gave that extension to. He could be one of the best pitchers in baseball this year.
Absolutely. As long as Hunter Green wasn't striking out 10, giving up 8 runs in 4 innings, then, those were the craziest box scores that I've seen. A player that I'm surprised we haven't seen a crazy box score on is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He's off to an start to the season, yet got his big payday, Russ. How surprised were you to see Toronto shed out all that money to Vladdy?
Very surprised, because I thought that they were at a point where they missed their window, right? Vladdy gave them an opportunity. Hey, we're going to come to the table. I want to be here. Y'all want me to be here. You and my agents, let's figure this out. Gave them the deadline, spring training. Obviously, that's a little loose. If you get something that happens towards the end of spring training or the first week of the season, as we've seen this year with guys like Jackson Merrill, Garrett Crochet, Ketel Marte signing extensions. But it just felt like we were getting to the point where they made an offer, Vladdy and his team turned it down. And after offer 2 or 3, you wondered if we were getting to a point where Vladdy would say, you know what? I gave y'all a chance. I'm going to talk to the other 29.
Yeah, I thought he didn't even want to be there anymore.
Because that's what we see. And I think Ross Atkins, their GM, and Mark Shapiro, president of baseball operations there, deserve a lot of credit, because I wrote about this earlier this week. When we live in a time in baseball where teams like to hide behind the revenues that they don't have and the CBT thresholds as this soft salary cap, where it's like, man, we're close to that threshold. We're in threshold number 2. We're at the Cohen tax and threshold number 3. As I drop my prop queen prop.
No, that's how my whole day's going.
It's not dented or anything. It's okay.
No, but that's how my day's going. Just like throw me off the table, start over tomorrow.
But we're in this time where teams look for any reason not to do right by their guy. And I can appreciate that the Blue Jays said, we developed this guy to be a superstar. We signed him at 16 years old. We told him that he was going to be the future of our franchise. He was the number 1 prospect in baseball, became everything that we wanted him to be in a world where Shohei doesn't exist, which isn't a world I want to live in. He would have been the runaway MVP in 2021. You look at the numbers. Yes, there's been some seasons where he's had some dips from that production, but the ceiling has been great. And even those years where he had the dips were better than 90% of Major League Baseball. Like, he's a really good baseball player, an all-around player. His ceiling is an MVP, and his floor is a guy that's going to give you between an 875 and 950 OPS with really good defense at first base. With, he's one of the better base runners at first base, all things considered. I think we look at Vladdy's body type and it's like, oh, he has this dumpy body and he's not athletic. He's actually very athletic and a really good athlete. So I'm happy as somebody who watches baseball for a long time and writes about baseball, that a team decided that the player that they drafted and developed into a superstar, they were going to keep him around long term, because I think baseball is better for it.
Baseball's definitely better for having Vladdy stay in the AL East. A great division, and hopefully Toronto will figure its way to, like, again, making itself look as good as they look on paper. But Russ Dorsey, what'd you write about this week? Where can people find all your work?
Yeah, wrote about Vladdy, wrote about torpedo bats and why everybody needs to calm
Ugh.
down. It is not a cheat code. You got to be a really good hitter to hit in the big leagues. Right? It's just another tool that we have. Guys have been changing their bats and the barrels and the handles for decades. Let's learn more about baseball, guys, right? Like, tell your casual baseball friends this isn't some cheat code. There are a lot of pictures out there swirling around of, and I think people saw Jazz's bat and then they're like, oh, let's Photoshop this thing, and just kept making the barrel bigger and bigger and bigger. And I think that image gets burned into people's mind and burned into Twitter or X's mind. And most of the bats that are torpedo bats, one, there's a lot of variation in torpedo bats. Two, if you see them in person, they don't look much different from the bat I have up here, which is your more standardized bat. So I think the air is almost out of this balloon, and I think we're going to get to a point where people don't talk about it as much, but it's not this. This
is what happened last year
aluminum
with the Fanatics uniforms. It all died down. It's not a wiffle ball bat.
It's fine,
guys. The Yankees almost got swept by the Tigers. Let's get real here. Come on.
Right.
They're fine.
Guys used to take PEDs that never made it to the big leagues because it's really hard to play Major League Baseball. So everybody, let's take a step back. But you could find me, all my work, at yahoosports.com. I'm on X/Twitter at Russ_Dorsey1 and on Instagram at Russ Dorsey.
Hell yeah. Check out Russ and all his work. He's awesome, super smart and knowledgeable about the game, and get some really good insights with the players as well. Russ, we love you. Thank you so much for coming on.
Love you, Ariel. I am very happy for your new program. And I always wish you the best in all your endeavors. And when you need me, let me know.
Yeah, I need you to come here so we can go to another nice steak dinner.
Listen, I'm always down.
Come back to New York, Russ. We'll see you soon.
Down. Bye, Ariel.
Okay. We've got 8 minutes left of the show, and I have a lot of graphics that I didn't use today. And now I need to find out which graphics I still have to add to this sheet. Give me 1 minute. So anyway, I've got MLB and NBA to talk about today. Oh, goodness. I hate that StreamYard only allows for you to utilize 10 graphics at a time, essentially. So I have to add these in the middle of the show, which is not ideal. One more to add, and then we'll be good to go, I think. Yeah. I guess we could start with propaganda, because propaganda, a lot of the props already happened today. So let's get to propaganda. Propaganda. Shohei Ohtani over 1.5 total bases is the #1 most bet on prop today by BetMGM. So tonight, they're playing right now, actually. The Los Angeles Dodgers are taking on the Washington Nationals. That game started after, so let me just take a quick look at what's going on in that Dodgers game. Shohei Ohtani, 1 for 2 with a run scored. Was that just a single for Ohtani? Yeah, I think it was just a single. So no over total bases just yet for Ohtani. And let me just tell you, right? We're going to find out. Aaron Judge, no home run today. Juan Soto, no home run today. Stop betting these home run props. Gosh, it makes me so angry. Toronto Blue Jays, that game is at 6:45 p.m. Eastern time. Vladdy, yeah, he's due. Again, he's been slumping. I bet numbers. I bet I bet the numbers, whatever. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. has not been playing well. So nothing for me. Tyler McGill, he went over 6.5 strikeouts today, actually. I was looking at this one. the Marlins have been striking out a ton, guys. I don't know why the public was on the under here. I know it was a really high number. I stayed away. Righty starters to start this season. Let me just get the updated number now from the strikeout prop spreadsheet. The Marlins, okay, righty starters are 7-2 to the over against the Miami Marlins this year. They're averaging 7 strikeouts a game against the Marlins. Until the Marlins prove otherwise, we're probably betting overs against them or staying away with strikeout props. Got it? Got it. Great. Now let's move on to the NBA tonight, right? Oh, I have to get to fishy lines. I'll do NBA first. We have 5 minutes left. Big game tonight. Luka returns to Dallas for the first time since getting traded to the Lakers. This is how Luka and LeBron do together. 21 games together. Luka's averaging just over 26 points a game, 7.5 rebounds, 7 assists. These are his props. If I'm betting Luka, I'm betting points. It's his time to shine. Guards have had success recently against the Mavericks anyway. Luka does well in these spots. So I do like Luka. If I'm going to bet this game, though, I'm looking at AD over points. The Lakers have been struggling against any bigs. They don't really allow a lot of rebounds, though. It's the points. I was looking, and I had this in the newsletter today. Let's see. Where are the stats? I like to get my numbers right for you guys. Here are the last 5. I'm not going to be able to show it to you, but I'll read it to you. The last 5 forwards, centers to face the Lakers. OKC's forward Jalen Williams had 26 points. Houston's Amon Thompson, 20 points. Paolo Banchero of Orlando, 30 points. Matas Buzelis from Chicago, 31 points. I know he's a forward. And then Giannis, 28 points. Aside for Giannis, AD is better than all those guys. Him and Giannis are about the same. And AD's props 26.5. As much as everyone's loving that it's Luka's revenge game because it's his first time back in Dallas, yeah, AD is playing his former team. He didn't play in the last rematch game. This is his first time getting to play at the Lakers. I would look to AD more than Luka, but over points for both of them in their revenge spot would work for me. I'm going to talk about this one in my best bet a little bit more with Dunn. I have a play on him. I know he's super random, but I'm going to bet him tonight. Devin Booker without KD, Kevin Durant. They're without him again tonight. Devin Booker is averaging 28 points a game. But on the second leg of a back-to-back, which is what they're on, he's only averaging 21 points a game. So I would stay away from them. A lot of unders tonight for that second leg of a back-to-back for the Suns without KD. Oklahoma City is who they're playing, and they're on the second leg of a back-to-back as well. They've only played 4 second legs of back-to-backs with Chet Holmgren. And this is the numbers and the props that you've got on them. I would look to Chet over rebounds. His prop 6.5. He's averaging just under 9 rebounds a game on the second leg of a back-to-back. I would think Hartenstein, but again, KD not playing for the Suns on the second leg of a back-to-back. The average is 18 points a game and just under 12 rebounds a game for opposing bigs. And I know that I was looking at the last 5 games without KD. It's more that a lot of people get rebounds more than just one player getting 15 rebounds. I would look for Chet Holmgren over rebounds tonight. Now we go to fishy lines. The fishy line of the day, the Atlanta Braves. So the line moved from -126 to -134 on the Braves. Phillies +108 to +116, despite the public back in the Phillies. Oh, surprise, surprise. People don't think that the struggling Braves should be able to beat the Phillies in back-to-back games. Phillies are just so good, right? Well, people don't really know Grant Holmes, who's the starting pitcher for the Braves today. He owns a 2.45 ERA in 3 appearances last year against the Phillies. He also pitches, he's pitched a little bit better at home. Holmes owns a 1.71. Sorry, that was wrong for afternoon baseball, but they're playing later. Walker, though, he's got an ERA of just over a 5 against the Braves in his career. His ERA on the road, 4.42. Bullpens are pretty even. Hey, if the line's moving in favor of the Braves tonight, who have been struggling with a pitcher named Grant Holmes, who really hasn't started that much in the bigs, versus Taijuan Walker, who's started a lot in the bigs. The public's obviously going to bet the bigger name, Taijuan Walker. So that's my fishy line of the day, the Atlanta Braves. It's 6 o'clock. We're going over. Oh, free baseball. Just kidding. Okay. And I think the Athletics are about to lose, but Royal Locks. Maybe tonight will be better to me than today. Afternoon baseball did not like me. The Athletics suck. Today sucks. Maybe tonight will turn it around. Ryan Dunn, under 8.5 points tonight for the Phoenix Suns. Ryan Dunn does not go over this number. In fact, Ryan Dunn has only gone over this number. Let's see. I have the stats. He had 8+. Oh, no, that's the wrong person. I'm looking at the wrong person. Dunn. I knew in the 14 games without KD, he's going to... Okay, that's what I was looking for. 13 games without Kevin Durant. I keep saying Kevin Dunn. Damn, it's Ryan Dunn. So Dunn, without KD, on the second leg of a back-to-back. Dunn without KD has had 9 or more points in like 2 games without KD this year, 3 games without KD this year. And there's been 17 games without KD. I think Dunn's played in 14 of them. Dunn under 8.5 points. He went over it last night without KD. 12 points last night. Not happening again on the second leg of a back-to-back. Dunn's going under 8.5 points. I just mentioned the fishy line. Braves money line. Grant Holmes has pitched well against the Phillies in his career. Sorry, sidetracked by the fact the Athletics just lost. Anyway, if I lost so much in afternoon baseball today, I'm expecting to win tonight. Glass half full. Changing my thought process. Dunn under 8.5 points. That's a winner. Braves money line, winner. Lay it with Atlanta. Today, it's going to get better. It's going to be a better day. It's going to turn around at night. We've got this. That was the Royal Locks of the day. My best bets. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow, 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern time, per usual, here on the Prop Queen Pod. Everybody, enjoy the rest of your night, and good luck with your bet.